I've spent the summer making over the workshop and I couldn't be happier. I'm beginning to really enjoy the time I spend here. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at the flooring. It wasn't exactly cheap, but it's made a huge difference and is probably my most favourite part of this summer's project. That's all coming up. So when it comes to flooring, I just wasn't happy with concrete. Even though I'd sealed the floor, it creates a lot of dust on its own and it's hard on the feet and on the back. Having considered carpet and rubber and just about everything between, I eventually settled on a PVC Duratile from a company called Duramat that's based in Essex. They deliver, but I chose to collect. It's by the seaside, so I kind of got myself an ice cream as well. So PVC might not be for you if you are concerned at all about the environment, but the material is hard wearing. It has a 20 to 25 year lifespan and it's ideal for workshops and car garages where, you know, it's going to come in contact with spillages and fluids and that sort of thing. Virgin PVC, like my grey flooring, is a highly recyclable material, so maybe I'm a little less concerned about the environmental credentials, but if you are, then the black Duratile from Duramat is 100% recycled PVC. That's taken from the waste stream and turned into garage flooring, so that may be ideal for you. So we had to wait for a dry day and the workshop was emptied. I'd previously sealed the concrete floor and it was in good condition. With the PVC, there really wasn't any need to install a damp-proof membrane, but it needed a good vacuuming all the same. Laying the floor is pretty straightforward. Each tile clips together and a 6 metre length can be installed in just a couple of minutes. All the cuts are going to be along the sides of the floor. On the right hand side, the tiles will be cut in half. But on the left, I'm only going to remove the lugs from the tiles. An important tip: if you're removing the lugs, clip the piece you want to cut into another tile. It stops the lugs pinging off in all directions. Around each of the block piers there's a little bit of cutting in to do. Again, this is pretty easy if you set the tile into the floor and bring the measurements off the wall directly onto the tile. Getting a good flat connection between the tiles is achieved by whacking the joints with a plastic face mallet. A non-marking rubber mallet works too. Wooden mallets and black mallets just leave marks, so avoid those. Along the front edge, a short ramp piece makes for an easy transition from outside, essential really if everything like I have is on wheels. Laying the bulk of the floor took no time, and down the opposite side where I had to make most of the cuts, it's pretty much a rinse and repeat exercise. The track saw with a short guide rail made quick work of the 24 cuts needed to complete the project. With the floor installed in under 2 hours, I hope you agree that it's looking absolutely fantastic. So we're a couple of months in, and the floor's been down for a while now, and I guess you're wondering what I think. Well, it's incredibly easy to clean, and I just love the colour. The grey looks fantastic. I've gone for a sort of light grey look throughout the workshop, and the floor doesn't feel particularly heavy. It doesn't sort of catch your eye as maybe a darker floor, or one that, I don't know, is a yellow or red or white or whatever. Heavy machinery has stood on the floor for a fair amount of time, and the planer thicknesser, which is on wheels, is probably the only thing that's made some very light dents into the PVC. And to be honest, if you give it a couple of hours or days, having moved the tool, the dents are almost barely noticeable. So I'm pretty happy from that perspective. I've got a little bit of left over, one spare tile and some cut-offs, and I'll be able to do some running repairs if needed on the floor going forward. It's firm underfoot, but it really isn't knackering my knees or my back in the same way that the concrete was, so I'm really pleased about that. I'd considered carpet on a whole number of occasions prior to arriving at this particular floor, and I don't think that the PVC floor is a poor compromise to carpet if what you want is something that is perhaps a little bit more forgiving underfoot. Now, the total cost of the floor was £430, and that's a lot of money for a garage workshop floor, but I think it's worth it personally, and in terms of the investment that it is going to represent over the next 15 to 20 years, in 25 years I'll be 75 years old, so if it lasts as long as me, I'll be incredibly pleased. And that's it. That's just a quick look at my floor. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. But I'd really love to hear from you guys as to what you've chosen to install in your workshop. This was an agonising decision for me, and now I've made it, I couldn't be happier, and I'd just like to hear how you've tackled the same problem in your workshops. But for me, from the workshop, for now, cheerio. I've spent the summer making over the workshop, and I couldn't be happier. I really sound like you are happy.